Coming off a simply sensational rookie year. What a joy it has been watching Caitlin Clark throughout the course of the year. From her early on in the season to her improvement till now, where she was fourth in the MVP voting. What has made her so good this season?
What's going on, everybody? John out here with you. It's a Sunday, September 22nd, 2024. How's everybody doing out there today? I figured we'd try something a little bit different. And I'm going to go ahead and bring Ian in here. I'm also going to go around the league. There's a lot of stuff going on in the sense of today. So it's not just going to be this game. We're going to take a look at everything. I'm going to try to do the best I can and give you some play-by-play because it's the first time look for me at the WNBA. I do have some of the information in front of me, but it should be some fun. There's a lot going on today. There's a lot of pertinent updates as well, so we'll get into all of those. Ian, how are you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. Doing good.
I know that there is a lot going on as far as our baseball teams as well, so I'm going to have to update everybody on that. I hope that the Royals make the playoffs because right now it's they're in free fall right now. The Tigers are soaring, but they still need the Twins to lose. There's a lot going on.
I'll tell you this much. I believe the Royals are going to miss the playoffs. They've quit. In my eyes, they've quit. It's not even close.
Yeah, and they end the season too at Atlanta, and that's going to be a tough one as well. So we do have the starting lineups for you in this game. So for the Fever, it's Kelsey Mitchell, Caitlin Clark, NaLyssa Smith, Lexie Hull, and Aliyah Boston. And for the Sun, they have a veteran group: Tyasha Harris, DeAndre Carrington, Alyssa Thompson, Alyssa Thomas, Dewana Bonner, and Brianna Jones will be the starters. 222 playoff games for the Sun, just 19 for the Fever. The Fever are a very young team. Obviously, you got Lexie Hull, Caitlin Clark, and Aliyah Boston will be the spearhead. And it's best of 3 in the WNBA, and then 4 quarters. And then it'll be Caitlin Clark now with the basketball at Mohegan Sun Arena. And honestly, if that's inside the casino as well, that would be kind of badass. As Indiana starts it with the mid-range basket from Aliyah Boston. So they're underway. 8th straight playoff appearance for the Connecticut Sun. And for the Fever, it's been, I believe, 8 years since they've been in the postseason. As they answer right back with a 3 for the Sun from Bonner. So it's 3-2 now for the Sun. Caitlin Clark going to try to shoot one from the right wing side, and that one is off the mark as it's rebounded now by Bonner. She's going to try to take a floater from about 16. This one bounced up in the air. And now a foul will be called on the floor. This one's going to stay with the Sun. So we're going to try to go through everything here. I'll give you some play-by-play in the mix of it. I saw that the Red Sox now have taken an 8-1 lead over the Twins. The Twins got rained out yesterday in Boston. They will be playing a doubleheader. So as a result of the game, the Tigers will be pulled into a tie, although the Twins and the Royals have the tiebreaker over the Tigers. It's just going to be important to see whether or not the Tigers win their game today. So I'm just taking a look at the ball bouncing up in the air between Thomas here. We had a foul call on the floor, and I think we're going to take an immediate break. So that's why we're going to try to have everything pertinent in front of us here. I do have some NFL scores to get to. Some of these are good for me as far as points against the spread, and some of them are not. I did not have a good last week as far as week 2. Week 1 I was pretty good, but week 2 I was not. Honestly, the one that surprises me, and I guess maybe the Browns aren't, I don't know how good the Browns are this year, but they're losing 21-7 to the Giants, 8-26 in the third quarter. I think that's kind of a surprising result.
I can tell you this, Deshaun Watson's terrible. He is so bad.
Was that a signing, Ian, that ever made sense to you? I know that he was really good in Houston, but there was a lot of other stuff going on with Deshaun Watson cracked, and then now it just hasn't worked out.
So here's the thing, right? Trading for Deshaun Watson, okay, they wanted a new face. They went about it terribly, but they wanted a new face. That's all well and good. The contract they signed him to was bad all the way. Was the contract they signed him to by itself was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's what they did. It's the fact that they made that contract a fully guaranteed one that makes it so much worse.
Right. No, you're right, because, I mean, look at where the team is right now. Yeah, you had some defensive pieces, and then they moved that around, and then you're kind of stuck there with Deshaun. And really, what's the backup plan right now? Because there really isn't one.
No.
So I completely agree with you there. Right now, the Packers have a 27-14 lead over the Titans. Titans playing that one at home. Good thing for me is I get 3.5 for the Packers, so happy with that one right now. It's still early between the Colts and the Bears, but actually I shouldn't say that. It's the third quarter now. Bears only have a field goal. Colts only have 7 points. I wonder what's going on with Anthony Richardson. I figured the Colts would at least kind of win this game by more than they are right now. And the Vikings are all over the Texans right now, 21-0. I think I misinterpreted how good the Vikings might be this year. I did take them this week, but there could be 3-0 after today's game.
The Vikings are surprisingly good. You know what? I mean, I shouldn't be surprised given the fact that we saw a resurgence from Geno Smith
Sure.
under coaching and management that's stable, not unlike what he had with the Jets and the Giants in his career. I mean, the fact that he has stable, he has stability around him was what helped him revive. So that's probably the same thing for Darnold.
Yeah, I think that's a good call on your part. Honestly, I was trying to see in between Darnold because, right, he starts with the Jets. There wasn't a lot of stability there. Minnesota was a decent team. They had dealt with a lot of injuries and things like that, which kind of held them back. And now you get a fresh start and move forward. And all of a sudden now the NFC North in between the Lions, the Bears, the Vikings, the Packers looks to be competitive again.
Except for the Bears. Because Here's what's wrong with the Bears.
Mm-hmm.
They have no offense, and it's not even the struggles by a rookie quarterback.
Sure.
It's not just that. They have, first of all, the offensive line is so porous and so permeable that it would allow water and oil to mix. Like they can't block to save their quarterback's life. And the second biggest problem, the offensive play calling is bad. And you don't have to look any further than the scoring chance they had right before halftime. So you're in 4th and goal. You are past the one. You are inches away. What play call? What do? Run it up the middle? Pass out of shotgun? Or run an option play? Where your quarterback flips it to the running back about 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage?
Don't tell me they ran the option.
Yes, Shane Waldron called the option.
That's just terrible, Ian.
Yeah, it is. And, by the way, the Saints and Eagles score is 3-0 Saints.
Right now, I do have the Saints and points. Again, I had Monday line, so we'll see. Caitlin Clark, as DeAndre Carrington, came down with a hand, smacked her right in the right eye, and then they took a timeout. So just to give you an update, Carrington makes the 2. It's 5-2 Sun. We had a long timeout that resulted in a Lexie Hull loose ball foul. And that's where we are right now with 8:27. That's where you get some extended talking points with Ian. He's also helping me out today because there's a lot going on here since he just joined in. But hasn't been a lot of action just yet, but we're really kind of getting set here in game 1. 8:27 in the first, Connecticut up 5-2. And we will give you a look at the MLB scoreboard on the next portion of the break. So I think we're finally going to start to get underway here. Caitlin Clark with the basketball, trying to get this one to Boston, and we get another foul. There's a lot of physicality here, and Clark's still rubbing that right eye. She got bumped on the last possession here. Hopefully that does not close, because they don't need that right now, especially for Christie Sides. And it's not a one-woman offense here, as Caitlin Clark misses the three. However, you're only going to expect her to get a lot of points, probably about 20 or so, as this is a mid-range shot that is capped off by the Sun. So clearly they're off to a good start here. Again, as we said going into it, it's a veteran-laced team. You expect them to be able to take the edge as Clark misses. Bonner gets the previous make for the Sun, and Clark will get the basketball back. She's got it at 16 feet. This is a bounce pass inside to Aliyah Boston. It was very contested. Shot clock to 5. Clark back to Boston. She will get the layup inside 2 feet. Now 7-4, so they were content to work that ball inside. Here's a pickup now for Thomas, as she's got the dribble on the right-hand side inside to Jones. Again, Jones about 6'5". Pass out, spin in between the lane, and the ball will get knocked away with 7:27 left to go and 10 seconds on the shot clock for the Sun. So I'm going to try to do the best I can here to give you some play-by-play. It's the first time that I've done this. I do have the rosters and everything else in front, but try to see how much fun we have with this. As this layup is blocked a couple times inside by the Fever. That's some pretty good defensive work. The shot clock is back to 10. Here's a mid-range from 16. That's off the mark. And again, the Sun are really working on the offensive glass. It's a third rebound. It's going to stay again with them with 14 seconds left on it, 7:14 in the first. So Aliyah Boston tried to get the rebound about 3 different times. She couldn't find it. I'm sure Stephanie White, the head coach for the Sun, likes what she sees. Again, they're 28-12. The Fever are 20-20. Just able to sneak into the playoffs for the first time in 8 years. But that's a young group, and they're going to grow together.
Saquon Barkley just went 65 yards to the house. Touchdown Eagles.
So Saquon, that's the good pickup there for the Eagles. And again, last year, the way that worked, Ian, Eagles kind of fell apart on defense, didn't they?
They fell apart on everything. They fell apart on everything.
Was that just, Ian, I'm just guessing here, because again, you're going to know more than I am, especially on the NFL side, but is that just because it got so late in the year and that they lost their identity? Because really it seemed like the Eagles, that just shouldn't have happened.
Well, when I say everything fell apart, it just seemed like, okay, they start the year 10-1.
Mm-hmm.
They fall off a bit, but end up beating Kansas City in Kansas City, and they thought they were hot shots. Here's the thing. Sirianni decided to, yell up at the fans, talk about how, like we beat you guys. They would go on a couple weeks later to lose to the Seattle Seahawks. A Seattle Seahawks team that Gino did not start.
Right.
They were starting a quarterback. I'm not even sure you know this guy's name, but I know his name because he's a former Mizzou quarterback. Guy by the name of Drew Lock.
I have heard of Drew Lock in passing, but that's not where you want to have him start.
Right, except he won.
Yeah.
Yeah, he won and tossed a late game-winning touchdown to beat them. And it wasn't a receiver as wide open in the end zone type deal. This was a back shoulder dot to Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I mean, the entire time that entire second half of the Eagles, second half of the season, they were terrible. I mean, they lost to the Giants in the final week of the
Yes.
season. And then, when it came time for the wild card game against the Buccaneers, the defense couldn't tackle.
No, and I was surprised last year, Ian, if I have this correct, that Matt Patricia was associated with that team as well. On the
They brought him in to be the defensive
Yes.
coordinator.
And I'm thinking, why are you want to do that?
Oh, that's right. You would know all about it. You're a Detroit guy.
Yes.
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 All about that, Patricia.
So I do have some unfortunate news to share, as well, depends on the fan of the team you are, but you never want to see any injuries, as we did have an injury on the side for Tyasha Harris. I think she took a knee from Caitlin Clark. She was walking off gingerly, and she needed a lot of help. As a result, Lexie Hull is going to get 3 free throws here for Indiana, trying to make this a 10-9 game. She makes it. So now Connecticut with the basketball, and they might be down their starting point guard. I do see a substitution on the floor, Marina Mabry. She averages about 15. She was a good pickup off of the Chicago Sky at the deadline as Bonner misses the mid-range. And now we'll be back into the play-by-play side, hopefully for a little bit. There's been a lot of starts and stops. Clark with a bullet pass inside the lane. Again, very contested. I imagine that it's going to be that way, especially inside the WNBA. Those layups probably a lot easier. The threes, maybe the mid-range game like the NBA is probably what's open, but Indiana's on a 7-0 run. Aliyah Boston just made it. Here's a 3. This one airballed, picked up by Indiana, but it's out of bounds. I think they're going to be able to stay with the basketball here. 5:34 trying to get that rebound corral, but Boston was open from 12, knocks it down, and Indiana has got their first lead of the game with 5:15 in first.
Yep. So it's funny because I was in a college football space and they were talking about the WNBA playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, everyone outside of Indiana is picking Indiana to get swept.
I saw that too. I saw maybe, Ian, that Indiana would pick up a game here. Again, we all know why I'm doing this space. I'm not going to lie to anybody. I want to be able to see Caitlin Clark for the first time. I have not watched her, honestly, so I wanted to see how this team would work. But it is pretty interesting, right? Because she comes into the league, and I'm not saying she's the only one that's really good, but people know why. You got eyeballs and people in the seats. That's obvious. Didn't they just move their last game to an NBA arena and it actually sold out? So I want to see what she does bringing this team into the playoffs. So 14-14, Kelsey Mitchell hits the 3, responding to a couple of fast break opportunities for the Sun. As this is inside Mabry, trying to draw the foul. I think she's going to get it here and be able to go to the line. 4:28 left to go in the first. That was a good fast break sequence there for the Sun a couple times, and then responded by a 3 from the Fever. Again, for Kelsey Mitchell, she averages, I believe, about 20 points as well alongside Caitlin Clark. She's been the long-tooth veteran, essentially, about 7 years or so here for Indiana Fever. So she'll be someone that they'll be able to rely on just in case Indiana kind of goes a little bit of a lull. So Connecticut makes the first free throw at the line. Pull back up this box where Mabry knocks down both. And the Sun are now 16-14 ahead. Asia Wilson, it was the unanimous MVP. She's going to be on about 10 o'clock Eastern today, I believe, against the Seattle Storm. This one bounced from Boston. Lexie Hull will get it out of Caitlin Clark. Clark now looking for the screen from Boston, gets double. Leaves it up now to Aliyah. Pass back to Lexie, and I think we might get a call on the floor. This will be turned over against the Fever, probably a travel here. With 4:10 left to go in the first. NaLyssa Smith, they're going to pick up a foul. It's a 3-second violation with 4:10 left to go. Again, we got 4 quarters here, so rather than just the 2 halves, 5 assists on 5 made field goals, 6 assists on 6 made field goals. So moving the ball, the key to scoring points, that's what the coaches want to be able to see. And is Andy Dalton getting the start here for the Carolina Panthers? I guess they benched Bryce Young.
They did. They did bench Bryce Young, and quite frankly, if Bryce Young has any sense, he will request a trade out of Carolina today.
I saw going into it. I think if any of us, Ian, are betting men, again, it's just fun for me. I'm in a league of about 70. Sometimes it can go up and down, usually around 500, probably a little bit better here and there. But I saw the spread for Carolina is 5.5. Andy Dalton can certainly put a wrench in that. He can score some points, but I agree with you for Bryce Young. I'd want to get out now.
Yeah. I pity the fool that has to deal with David Tepper as their owner.
Yeah, that's not a good situation out there in Carolina, is it?
No. Could have been worse. There was a time where P. Diddy wanted to buy the Panthers.
That would have been a whole can of worms if you're following along that story. And again, there is a lot of layers to that. That's like an onion. Clark inside lays it in. We're tied at 16. Yeah, that Diddy situation, again, it's not just sports news. It's all the way across everything inside the news. No matter what channel you turn it on, we don't know what the prison time and sentence is going to be. And I'm not trying to get into a whole situation of conversation, but Ian is right to bring it up because that across is almost national news, honestly, Ian. That is not a good situation.
Nope. And I have a feeling that Diddy is not going to get as many years as everyone believes because it's simply because he knows stuff.
Yes.
And I get the feeling that he's going to squeal.
I think it would be in his best interest to do so to avoid the mass amount of prison time because you're right. I think those parties go back to longer than some of us have been alive, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So Bonner has 10 points in the first. Here's a cross-court pass. Mabry off the jump stop. A good passing here for the Sun. And they do miss the layup inside. And now Caitlin Clark emerges with the steal. She can pull up if she wants to. She's going to make some reinforcements. Inside pass will get deflected. This one will stay with the Fever. 2:28 left to go in the first. A decent game so far between both of these teams, looking to go up and down. That was last deflected by Brianna Jones. So this will stay with Indiana.
You know, I will say in the early goings of this game, the Fever, you know, everyone thought that the Fever were going to get suffocated by the Saxton Sun, but right now they're finding chinks in the armor.
I think so. Good pass inside off of the out of bounds. I don't know if they're going to say Lexie Hull stepped out of bounds there, as Caitlin Clark was delivering it sideline right inside the Lexie Hull. She might have just got her tippy-toe foot on the out-of-bounds side. We'll see now after the gather. I think she just traveled, honestly. Christie Sides looks like she might be beside herself here early. 2:25 left to go in the first, but it is going to be a technical free throw, and forgive me for what reason. I'm not sure why, as Mabry connects. And if it's any kind of chatter, that would make sense, but I'm not sure why. I think she just maybe double dribbled here. So I'm looking right now. The Tigers have a 4-3 lead in the seventh against the O's. Baltimore Orioles are going to make the playoffs, Ian, but they're not making it easy on themselves as far as playing well down the stretch. They've been losing some games.
Yep. Sounds about right. And the freaking, the Twins lost, so that helps both of us.
Yes. They still have one more game upcoming here from the doubleheader. I would imagine that will start a half hour from now. That's usually the way that works. This is off the step back, and Indiana misses. What a rebound for Lexie Hull. She just stole that, gives them another opportunity. And Indiana misses a second three-point attempt as Veronica Burton had a couple really good looks at it. Wide open in the left corner. Sun will load up. This one hits the top of the backboard. Lexie Hull is all over this basketball. She's going to get it back down to Caitlin Clark. Is going to try to take this across the timeline. Indiana 1 of 7 shooting threes. Some of those have been very open. And now Clark probes inside, draws the foul. She's going to go to the line to shoot 2. And the one thing I can say this early, and whether or not it's a smart thing to say or not, I'm just going to state the obvious. Everybody talks about Caitlin Clark as far as her ability to shoot the three, and that's well noted. But I think Clark does a great job able to get inside, draw fouls, get to the free throw line. She's got a good handle on that dribble as well. So again, she misses the free throw. Again, that's probably something that isn't very common, but the one game I was able to watch on the college side was against Michigan when she really just destroyed them as an Iowa Hawkeye. I think she had over a 40-point game on that end. There really isn't anything that she can't do offensively. Again, from some of the range, if you're kind of just new to this like I am, you see Caitlin Clark pull up across the half-court line like Steph Curry, don't be surprised because that's almost mirror image in the way that they get their shot off as far as the speed. It's there for Caitlin anytime she wants it. If you can get to the lane as well, that kind of opens up the entire offensive game. A couple of jump stops here, and the three-pointer is missed by Mabry as Clark has the basketball for the rebound from Boston. Again, some of the starters been able to stay out there the whole time. Clark probing. Needs to be able to pick this one back up here for the Fever, and this one gets knocked out of bounds with 49.6 seconds. It's going to be the basketball for the Sun. And so we'll take a look at this as Ian and I were just going over the Major League Baseball scoreboard as well. Obviously, with all the losing around there for some of these teams in the area, the Seattle Mariners are actually not out of this thing either. I know that there's not a lot of games left, but if the teams behind them continue to lose, right now they're up 2-0 on the Rangers, who've already been eliminated from the postseason. Mitchell now will try to get the screen from Aboda. Here's a three-pointer. This one will be knocked in wide open for the Fever on the right side, kind of just a screen and roll, but this time we're going to fade to the three-point line, and this will be Mabry now with the last possession of the first. So right now, Connecticut, it's 21-20. Indiana trying to keep this close. Again, it's been chaotic at times here and there. Here is a floater, one-handed. That was a pretty good opportunity there for the Sun, able to knock that one down. NaLyssa Thomas, and that is going to end the first. The Sun. Let me not say tenuous, but that's the word I'm going to use. It's a tenuous three-point lead. We'll try to figure out what happens for the rest of the Connecticut Sun here for Tiasha Harris, who had to walk off not under her own power with a little bit of a knee injury. We'll keep our eyes on that as we move forward. So let me give you some more NFL scores. This one is a surprise. Maybe the Buccaneers are due to lose. I didn't think they were due to lose like this. 7:30 in the fourth. Definitely tell you I took a loss on this game. The Broncos are up 26-7. Right now, the Colts, they do not have the football. The Bears have, but the Colts are up 14-3. So that one seems to be a key loss for me. That is just starting the fourth. The Eagles and the Saints. Saints get another field goal. This one in the fourth. It's 7-6. Right now, the Eagles have a 1.5 as far as most of the spreads, maybe up to 3. So the Eagles might be safe here, but the Saints do have the football, so that does help me a little bit. The Steelers, they're on the precipice of going 3-0, and I wish I would have taken them. They got 10 points. Maybe they actually scored a touchdown, Ian, now that I'm looking at it in the fourth. Justin Fields, yeah, he does have one. 24-31, 247 yards to go with the touchdown interception and sacked twice for 13 yards. They did play Justin Herbert, but now Taylor Heineke also has a couple pass opportunities. I wonder if they're just going to shut down the burners here. We'll see who is at the start right now, but Heineke does have a couple passes. The Panthers and Raiders will get underway about 4:05 Eastern local. Same thing for Dolphins Seahawks. Seahawks are 2-0 on the young season. The Dolphins, I took them this week. They're getting 5.5. I thought that the spread would be pretty large, but it is Skylar Thompson back under center because Tua, I think, has yet another concussion. So hopefully Tua will be able to get through that, get healthy, and continue to move forward in the season. Desperation level, if Ian's still here, I'll ask him on this. Ravens and Cowboys. The Ravens are 0-2. This is a must-win against Dallas, isn't it?
Yeah, because I think you being a stats guy, you may not know this, but if you don't, you'll learn something new every day.
Mm-hmm.
There has never been a team that starts 0-3 and makes the playoffs.
Thank you for that stat. I'm sure I've heard that before, Ian, but I'm glad that you brought it up because I'm sure I forgot that many times.
Yeah. There have been 1 in 5 teams that have made the playoffs, but it was always with one win at least. Never 0-3.
That's very interesting to know. And again, I'm wondering how the Ravens are going to be able to rebound because it's one thing to lose the Chiefs on the Thursday Night Football to open the season, and that was just barely missed for a touchdown that was just out of bounds. But for them really to, I don't know if I want to say trucked by the Raiders, but still, you can't lose to the Raiders. And now you got to beat the Cowboys at home, who were just coming off of getting embarrassed from last week. So that's going to be interesting to see how that one works out. 49ers have a ton of injuries. They do play the Rams very well, who are very beat up on the offensive line. 49ers are 1-1. Rams are 0-2. That one at 425. The Lions and Cardinals get underway. I took the Cardinals plus 3.5 at home. I wonder if that's going to bite me in the butt. That one also at 425 as we'll start to get underway here in the second quarter. So the Sun still have a 3-point lead as the mid-range missed off the front of the rim. And now Fever will get a chance to pick up this basketball as Bonner misses an 11-foot pull-up. Here's a fake toward the 3 on the right wing and a good pass out as Damiris Dantas makes a 24-footer in the right corner as Indiana has tied this game up. So if there was any consensus, I don't think from Ian and myself, but across we talked about it a little bit, as far as they're saying the Sun might sweep. Here's Bonner with a one-handed floater. And again, that kind of looks robotic in the way that she lets it go, but I'm going to tell you, it hits the rim and goes in the last couple times that you saw it there, as that was locked in off the floater. Caitlin Clark works in between the legs. Here's the pump fake. Opportunity near the right side. This is all sorts of post position here for Aboda, but she is going to get called for the loose ball foul on the Sun. This will stay with the Fever. Lexie Hull going to step in for Caitlin Clark as she gets her first breather with 8:55 left to go in the second. Again, there's going to be a host of fans able to check this one out. They know for a good reason and why they're doing so, and we'll see. I think as we move forward across these next few seasons, because I think Caitlin Clark's only 22, as we move forward in the next few seasons and this Fever team continues to grow, we'll see if Christie Sides is still here, but this roster in between Caitlin Clark, Lexie Hull, Aliyah Boston, 1-year rookie player there for Clark, they're going to have a pretty good opportunity to grow together, and I think that they can start to make some inroads in the playoffs as they will move forward throughout the years. As Dantas is going to go to the line to shoot 2. She makes both. This game's going to be tied at 25. So I'm still looking here in between the bottom 7. That's where we go. Tigers up 4-3 on Orioles. When we get a stoppage, I'll kind of hop in that box score because I want to see who scored some of those runs. I know Tarek Skubal will get an opportunity, I believe, to start on Tuesday and then close the season against the White Sox on Sunday. So he will get 2 more starts. After this is done here, Tigers will get the off day, and then they have the Rays and the White Sox to end the year. It's a good opportunity to pick a couple of series wins. Kelsey Mitchell gets blocked, and now the Sun might be off to the races. There's a probe right down the lane. Lexie Hull puts her hands up. She's going to get called for the foul, and it's an and 1 opportunity for the Sun. So Veronica Burton able to take this one all the way across as Bonner had the basketball, and then a rush right down the lane, scores it, and 1 opportunity. And now the Sun looking to take, I believe, their largest lead of the game at 5. So 30-25. Lexie Hull's got 2 fouls, 9 minutes, 3 points. Caitlin Clark called her the X Factor. They're going to need some of that. Here's a three-point rainbow opportunity. Lexie tries to get the basketball. Here's a full-scale pass. And look out over there near the broadcasting table, as there was a lunge for the basketball there. Aliyah Boston's going to enter the game here for Fagbenle. Temi Fagbenle, the bench center for the Fever. 8:04 left to go in the second. So that means just over 8 minutes before we get to the halftime break. I see on the ESPN ticker, it's the Vegas Aces with an 8.5-point favorite over the Storm. Again, for that side, Fraser Wilson, I would expect the Aces to be able to sweep. Even I can tell you that. As there is a floating opportunity that missed off the front of the rim. Try to get corralled a couple times. There's a battle on the floor right now. We might get a jump ball here with 7:50 left to go in the second. So now the Browns have scored 8 unanswered, and they have the football. But for me, I think I might run out of time because they had Browns had to cover by 7.5. But it's 21-15 as they're trying to work their way back to this game against the Giants with 11:33 to go in the fourth. Vikings now up 24-7. Lexie Hull will get the loose ball. And now Indiana, as we will get a whistle with a clock violation. So all sorts of stoppages, ladies and gentlemen. I'm doing my best here. It is 30-25. The Suns still have a 5-point lead. Let's take a look at this Tigers box. I want to just see what's going on here as far as some of the scoring.
I will give you an update on the Bears-Colts game. Chicago has scored their first passing touchdown, and the first passing touchdown is the first career receiving touchdown of one Rome Odunze.
That will make Mr. Cooper Hopkins very happy as Washington Husky. He was looking.
And I believe that is Caleb Williams' first passing touchdown of his career as well.
Hopefully, Ian, that'll be one of many. Again, they're trying to figure out the quarterback situation for a long time in Chicago.
Yeah, see, one thing that is going to hamper the Bears, they've got to get a new home coordinator.
That would be a good start. I won't disagree with you there.
Yeah.
Let me give you this as far as the local side for me because I'm curious. Spencer Torkelson, that was much needed. A home run to start in the second, 3:56. Trey Sweeney, another double to center, scored. Jace Young made it 2-0. Tigers had a 3-0 lead. Kerry Carpenter in the third. Cedric Mullins answered with a 2-run jack. And Jordan Westberg double to the left that scored Gunnar Henderson. It was 3-3 in the fifth until Kerry Carpenter gets his second home run of the game. The second one to right center, 361 feet. That's still where we are right now. Bottom seven. Right now, the O's have a man on first with nobody out. So we'll keep that updated as far as the AL Central playoffs, everything else. Cleveland has already punched their ticket, but we still have an opportunity where maybe Minnesota, Kansas City. I think Kansas City has a better opportunity than Minnesota, but Kansas City, Minnesota, and Detroit, two of those three teams might punch their ticket to the postseason by the end of next weekend. So let's get back into this play-by-play as Erica Wheeler made a couple of free throws here for Indiana. 3-point opportunity, and this one skied and picked up here for DeWanna Bonner. Still 30-28, Sun of the basketball. Mabry sets the screen as it's near the right wing side. Brianna Jones. There's a pass inside. Try to pick this one up down the left side elbow. Got some good opportunity. Here's a great pass inside. Wrap around Lexie Hull. And it's 32-28 as it's converted within 2 feet. Caitlin Clark off the step back. Got Harrington right in the grill. Picked up now for Lexie near the right elbow. Screened by NaLyssa Boston. Lexie Hull lets it go, and that's Cash for mid-range for about 10 feet. Indiana still hanging around. They've never really got themselves out of striking distance here. It's still 2-point lead for the Sun. Sun now have this as they'll get it on the left elbow. Lexie Hull trying to play some defense. Bonner, sweet dribble move, and she's going to be able to draw the foul inside. Go to the line for some free throws as Dantas picks up the shooting foul. Looks like the Sun might take a timeout here, and it'll take us to break. 32-30 is the score with 5:31 left to go in the half. So now the Orioles have a man at second with one out. Will Vest is going to pitch to Anthony Santander. Anthony Santander, I think, Ian, is pretty close to 50 tanks on the year. He's always a dangerous threat with the bat.
Yep.
Diamondbacks all over the Brewers. Brewers, I think, already have the NL Central locked up. Diamondbacks trying to get wild card positioning. They're leading 8-1, although the Brewers do have a couple on at first and second. The Giants and Royals. The Royals will be going to the bat rack in their last 9 outs. It's 2-0 Giants right now. The Royals have just 2 hits. I think if the Royals lose this game, that would be 7 in a row. That is not what you want.
No. And our manager refuses to change the roster. He sends out Adam Frazier and Garrett Hampson, 2 of the worst hitters in baseball. I don't know, loyalty because they're good guys. They're certainly not good baseball players.
Can I ask you this, Ian? And again, I'm not trying to be mean or disingenuous or anything, but I understand maybe picking up Robbie Grossman for some injuries and this and that, former Tiger, Athletic Ranger. Why is he batting 4th?
Because Vinny Pasquantino is injured.
Right, he's got the thumb injury, correct, from the one that was at first base.
Yep.
Because
why is he batting 4th?
I'm just wondering the placement because I don't think that's very smart.
Because apparently we have no one else. We have a power hitter in the minors that they won't bring up.
Mm-hmm.
And they're I don't know what they're doing. They're trying their best to collapse and make it look like they're competing. They're not making the playoffs. And unfortunately, nobody is going to criticize them.
Because it wasn't expected?
No one's going to criticize them because this is the best season the Royals have had in nearly a decade.
Okay.
And honestly, the Royals you say anything bad about the team, you'll get your media pass taken away. I wish I was kidding.
That is not the society I want to live in, my friend, as far as any of us that follow sports. I think you got to have some truth. And I think that you nailed it because I know you've been in a lot of these broadcasts with me alongside Alec Cooper, everything else. When you talk about the Royals here and there, you mentioned these free agency pickups, guys like Seth Lugo, some interesting bats like Renfroe, guys that have done their job and largely very good down the season, putting the Royals in the position that they are. But you're right. I mean, you have to look at this in the sense of, hey, I know Yuli Gurriel doesn't have a lot of at-bats, a lot of games this season, but he is somebody that puts bat on ball. Maybe that's somebody I would put in the 4 hole. Maybe I would kind of move up Michael Garcia, who's got a lot of steals. He can put the bat on ball as well. I don't think you put Grossman there in that spot. That's just me. And you're right about some of the placement stuff. But if you get down the stretch and you lose these games and you don't get in and you say you can't make any criticism because of losing the on-the-field pass, that's wrong because you have to put the team under the microscope. You're going to –
But no one does. I mean,
right.
The post team doesn't. I doubt the radio jockeys will. I mean, the most heated I've ever heard a radio post from KCB was when the Chiefs were god awful.
Yeah,
but that's it. No one explodes about the Royals, especially not this season.
So go ahead.
They will. They're going to collapse. They won't make the playoffs, but no.
think, I don't know if this cut out or not, but Dantas made the free throw. Have this one inside now as this being Mabry. Off the jump stop, Clark was right in her grill. This one bounced up in the air. Brianna Jones gets the rebound. Mabry is going to get a wide open look now. Second opportunity. She does not hit this one. 5:10 left to go in the second. I hope the space did not freeze. 5:10 left to go in the second. The clock operators had another problem. Again, it's good that we've had Ian here with me anyway, because we've had a lot of stoppages, and for whatever reason why. Again, you'd think that this would happen on the road, but this is actually at home. This has been going on quite a lot. The other thing I do want to mention, in the sense of when we were talking about the Royals, I think the Twins also have to be put in that same type of microscope, because if they're not, that has been an epic fall apart, regardless of how you think that roster is constructed. So shot clock, they're going to have to figure this out. Again, I apologize about the third time we've had to do this already. I'm going to pull up one of my previous stories here just to make sure I can get what I need as far as we're getting another stoppage here. And I will go across and give you some more updates here in a second. If this froze, I can restart the space again. I think we're good on the YouTube end. Just give me 1 second. All right, so let's get this box score set up here for Indiana and Connecticut. So Indiana, they're only down 2. That's 34-32. 20 in the first, 12 in the second. For Connecticut, 23 in the first, 11 in the second. It is basketball for Caitlin Clark on the right side elbow. I'll show back up across the Sun logo. Get a screen from Boston. Cut off near the right wing. Good defense there for Thomas. Now here's a mid-range chance. This one will be off the front of the rim. Lexie Hull gets an opportunity to rush in again for an offensive rebound. Spark plug saves it to Boston. Caitlin Clark doubled. This will be now near the right wing as the Fever thought about shooting 3. Now down to 15 seconds. Here's a step back opportunity. Missed off the front of the rim. Lexie again with an offensive rebound. Third straight possession here for the Fever. Tech toward the lane and scoring. What an opportunity for Kelsey Mitchell. Lexie Hull, couple rebounds there, offensive. And gets the opportunity to tie it at 34 with a third chance. As the pass around. Picked up now for the Sun. This off the hook of the front of the rim for Brianna Jones. Lexie Hull, defensive rebound. 4 straight rebounds. She certainly found her bag. This is now a great pass lofted from Clark to Boston, and Indiana has the lead, 36-34 with 3:35 left to go in the second. 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 blocks for lead Boston. Now Mabry inside, and this was laid back up for Carrington. Tied at 36 as these teams starting to find their footing. We've got through all these other stoppages here. We might as well get some basketball. What do you say? Mitchell off the jump stop. Now Boston. Clark thought about the separation. This is really good defense for the Sun. Not an opening there for Clark to shoot. She did so anyway. She's got the confidence. 3:10 left to go in the second. Jonathan with you, Mohegan Sun Arena. It's Indiana and Connecticut. Tied at 36, game 1 of the WNBA playoffs. I am making my debut here as far as doing this call. I said, will Caitlin Clark and the Fever find a way to get a first-round victory over the Sun? And 2 votes say yes. I appreciate you joining me in right now. I imagine we're not going to have a ton of people in the YouTube side of the Twitter space, although I was happy to be joined by Ian Genji. 2:25 left to go in the second. The Sun have a 38-36 lead. DeAndre Carrington with the layup inside from Mabry. And again, that reminds me a little bit ahead on my ESPN box as far as the TV side. Carrington now will be able to get that lane. 38-36, 2:55 left to go in the second. Mitchell will stop at the Sun logo. Couple of dribbles, works his way to the right wing. Probing baseline. Pass back out. There'll be an opportunity now off the bench for Katie Lou Samuelson, who just checked in. Gets this one back for Mitchell, working her way inside. I think she may draw the foul, I should say, but I think she just lost the basketball with 2:35 left to go in the second. She kind of held that one strong, pulling the basketball. We'll take a break, but it bounced off of her, and this will be the Suns' hoop when we come back. 2:35 left to go in the second. Giants and Browns. Giants still up 21-15. Packers now up 30-14 on the Titans. Colts with the football. It's 14-9. Again, as we talk about alongside Ian Genji, who was in here, the first passing touchdown for Caleb Williams and Roma Dunzier with the touchdown reception. Only Cooper Hopkins happy. The Colts, again, 14-9, as we said, 31-7 for the Vikings. The Saints up 12-7 on the Eagles. My spread's 1.5. I think most of your spreads might be 3 or 4 for the Eagles. So depending on where you are, that could be good. Eagles with the football, though, needing a touchdown. 12-7 in the fourth. Keep that in mind. Games that'll be getting underway about 15 minutes. Raiders, Panthers, Dolphins, Seahawks. I'll be with you to the end of this WNBA opener, playoff opener, and then I will get you the complete game story at hopelesssportsguy.wordpress.com. So let's refresh the MLB standings in the wild card just to give you the update of the day that is pertinent for Detroit. Again, Minnesota has the tiebreaker, but Minnesota has played a doubleheader today. They lost their first game. They got destroyed by the Red Sox. We'll give you that scoring update. Let me scroll down here. So Red Sox win 8-1 in the opener of the doubleheader. 3 runs in the first, 3 runs in the third. That game was pretty much over. 8 runs and 11 hits, 2 errors, 1 run, 4 hits, no errors for Minnesota. Okay, I was just making sure that this space did not freeze. Looks like we're good here on that end if anyone does join in. So Boston, 8-1 winners. That essentially tied the standings. But again, as we talk about, Minnesota and Kansas City have the tiebreakers over Detroit. Detroit still now going to the bottom 8. 4-3 with the lead. Baltimore at home get last at bats at Camden Yards will be Adley Rushman, and then Rivera has some Kerstad up at the bat rack. I'll probably save the pipes a little bit toward the half. I will give you some scoring updates for anyone listening in on the YouTube end. So Indiana attendance, the Caitlin Clark effect, 17,000 at home, 15,000 on the road. Puts a whole set of eyeballs and ears to the WNBA, does Caitlin Clark, as they're showing this inside the road arena for the Indiana Fever. I mean, it's packed here at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. It's packed across the roadside to watch Caitlin Clark in her first ever WNBA playoff game. So Connecticut with the basketball now. It's an opportunity now for Jones. Now Thomas, Carrington, inside pass. Jones trying to work with it near the left elbow. 2:18, 3-second violation will be called against Indiana. It's the second time that's worked against the Fever right now. Score line is 38-36. Connecticut with an opportunity to make this a 3-point game. Let's give you the box as far as this game. Kelsey Mitchell leads the Fever with 9 on 4 of 10. Caitlin Clark just 1 of 7, 0 of 5 from 3 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. So Caitlin really not getting her groove in this first NBA playoff game. That is to probably be expected a little bit. It's a little bit different when you make that opportunity and transition into the playoffs. And now a 3-point play essentially for the Connecticut Sun as they make the layup Mabry. 7-0 run. Clark, now Boston. Mitchell trying to get the screen inside Boston. She lost the basketball and turns it over. Now the Sun, full stretch pass. Mabry, jump stop, lays it in. 9-0 run now for the Sun. 43-36. Last 2 minutes. Caitlin Clark, Fever need a basket. This is almost knocked away from Boston. Good work there from Brianna Jones. Here's Mitchell. Mitchell now wide open from mid. 12 feet. Knocks that down. That was badly needed for the Fever. Need to cool off the Sun here. 43-38. 11 points on 5 of 11. Mabry puts the ball on the deck. Floater short. Boston gets an easy rebound. Gets it here to Mitchell. Mitchell now left to right across the timeline. 1:10 left to go in the second. Caitlin Clark near the right wing. Clark stops, dribbles between her legs, and then will back out. 10 seconds to work with on the clock. Needs a pass outlet. Gets an opportunity for Dantas. She's been excellent off the bench with 10. Here is an up and under. This one gets blocked by the Sun. Good work. They'll push it the other way. Here's Bonner. Here's a full fast break down the middle, and they'll miss. 47 seconds left to go in the second. This will stay with the Sun. Their fans are to their feet. They've been playing very well over this last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. As Bonner was able to get it and pretty much take this one coast to coast. 47 seconds. Brianna Jones at the line. She misses the first. So I'm looking at the free throw here as a second opportunity. Again, the ESPN box might be 15 seconds or so, maybe 10, 15 seconds ahead, as Jones misses both. Indiana only down 5 points, 43-38. Clark trying to get inside the lane. Bonner says, no way. Knocks it right out of her hands. And the Fever will get this basketball back. Bonner tried to go ahead and work the lane against Caitlin Clark, and she got absolutely swatted, did Clark. This will stay with the Fever. 37 seconds left to go in the second. Clark will trigger. That's a good pass. This one's put all the way back and across the mid-range arc, and now Connecticut Sun logo 2 for 1 is available for Christie Sides squad. Kelsey Mitchell just dripped it off her foot. 25 seconds left to go in the second. All she can do is smile with that one. Again, this young team look a little tight here, and you kind of expect that. It's a veteran-laced squad in Connecticut, but 0 for 6 primary defender is the one of Bonner against Caitlin Clark, and Clark can only go anywhere and up in the second half. Here is Mabry. Pass across. This one blocked. And I think Bonner is going to be able to draw the foul. Katie Lou Samuelson is the one that picks it up. So 43-38 your score. Connecticut trying to go ahead in this series. Again, it's only best of 3, so Connecticut picks up 1 win. That'll be a good opportunity. They don't play again until Wednesday. Be a good opportunity to close the series out. Again, so anytime we mention the word sweep when it's only a 2-game series, I think you kind of take that in a different light, I would hope. 49ers and Rams inactive Kittle and Deebo Samuel. That's unfortunate for me because I already sent my picks in a couple days ago. As 49ers, I think, had a 7-point spread over the Rams entering today. So DeWanna Bonner, she could essentially be the MVP in this game right now because she's held Caitlin Clark to 0 of 6. She's going to the line to shoot 3 free throws as Katie Lou Samuelson followed from beyond the arc near the right wing. So she makes the second one. It'll be 45-38. Again, that's what the ESPN box says 3. I think that's exactly what we do have. So Bonner gets an opportunity to make this 46-38 and to be an 8-point lead for Connecticut once we end this first half. I know Indiana's going to get their last possession. We'll start this one now. Kelsey Mitchell has got a 12-2 run in the last 3:40. Mitchell try to work inside the lane. Extra pass. Caitlin Clark wide open. She misses it too strong off the front of the rim. And we end the half. The Sun have a 46-38 lead over the Fever. Excellent defense down the stretch. Caitlin Clark been ice cold. And Indiana is going to need to heat up here. They need some points. Caitlin Clark, 1-9, 0-6 from distance, 4 assists, 3 points. We will take a quick break. I will be right back, get some water. We'll jump back into it. Just going to get some notes here. So let me get some notes here real quick before I take a break, and then we'll jump back in and bounce across all the leagues, let you know what's up on the action today. DeWanna Bonner right now is my MVP for the Connecticut Sun. And simply, she is, let me make sure I get this one, 4-7, 2-2 from distance, 6-6 from the line, 16 points. Not only is she the leading scorer, so 16 points, 3 assists, but when guarding Clark, Caitlin Clark's 1 for 9, and 0 for 7 is Caitlin when guarded by DeWanna Bonner. So she's my MVP right now. Indiana, Dantas has done an excellent job off the bench. 10 points in 11 minutes. Points in 11 minutes off the bench. In totality, Clark has just 3. I'm 1 for 9 shooting. And then ends the half. We'll throw this out there as well. I want to make sure I pull this up on the actual box. It's 11-2 run and a half. Making sure I get that one correct. So 11-2 run for the Sun and a half. Right now they're up 46-38. Sun. I'm going to get some water and be right back.
Now, a tough performance in the first half. She's shooting 11% from the field, 0 for 6 from deep. How would you evaluate what you saw from her in the first half? Well, my evaluation is twofold, right? The first thing, today when Kaylee gets 10 fouls, no, you didn't really want her to get it. I want her to play with emotions, honestly. That brings out the best Caitlin. But that's the thing. Playing with emotions and being emotional are two different things. And with this first half that Caitlin has had, she could have gotten emotional. She has struggled in this first half. She didn't get emotional. That's a great sign. Her team is only down by 8, and she has struggled to that degree. Now, on the other side, why has she struggled so much? It's the one water. It's the better choice. It is the other key to the Connecticut Sun. And you talk about the one water. She has won a championship before. She knows it takes two things, offense and defense. And her defense on Caitlin Park set the tone. Yes, the one water has 16 points. Yes, she scored 7 from the field. But she has used her length and her energy and her activity level to make life hard on Caitlin. So give one on her life. But those are looks. Those are makeable shots. Again, you're a rookie, your first round game, eyes will roll on you. I think she'll settle down for a second. I'm sure 3 of her 9 attempts have been open looks. But again, you mentioned it, Dre. They're still only down by 8, despite only getting a couple points from Caitlin Park. So with that being said, he's been a bright spot for the Beavers. So if you think about Indiana Fever, they scored 928 points going into this matchup in pick and roll. When you're really, Caitlin Clark is the most blitzed player in the WNBA. You have to rely on your post. Watch out for Aliyah Boston. I just like the short roll, so that's a good job highlighting it. In a pick and roll before last year when Aliyah was rookie of the year, oftentimes she gets that ball in the mid post and attack you get into the defense and miss. Now she has the advanced maturation to take shots just like that. In the short roll, away from defense, where she's really been great post Olympic break. So yeah, watch out for Aliyah Boston and also, the passing, not necessarily relying. Look at this. On time, on the target, that is a post player's dream getting passes like that. I don't know if you can do that to me, Fred. No, my pass is not wearing jersey like that. You see, I'm sitting at the desk for a reason. I'm not passing like that. Lexie shot better than me. Okay, that's why I'm me, because there's a reason why I'm here. And the other bright spot when it comes to the Indiana Fever, Kelsey Mitchell. So we also share a birthday. So that's actually my favorite name is my shared birthday with Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell struggling coming beyond the yard. This was the one that she hit in the first half. So she is so lightning quick. What I love is that she got into her pass when it comes to getting into the space, finishing at the right. Quick she is. She plays with so much speed. She's so sticky, and it's a burst of speed. The way that she accelerates. So Kelsey Mitchell, Aliyah Boston, Dantas, great first half from her as well. They held it down so that Caitlin can start to figure it out. And that's a great sign. When your top scorer is struggling, you've got to step up and let her figure out along the way. Our dream researcher, Jenny, gave us this as well, something to keep an eye on. If this game stays close, Indiana 16-9 this season in clutch time games. That is the third best win percentage in the league. They are unbothered at the end of these games to certainly see if they can keep it tight as we get you ready for second half action and more action on the way as well. Brianna Stewart, we're a nightmare for the dream. Highlights of the game on the Brooklyn. You're watching WNBA Halftime, presented by State Farm.
This is a nightmare.
Hang on. That's your nightmare? Some roof damage?
I'm
a professional. I deal with real nightmares. You just need to sing the State Farm jingle.
State Farm jingle.
State Farm can help with your claim. We're here when you need us.
Great. Can you get rid of it?
Ooh, we getting rid of. Wait.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
We have got to level up. The next icon of vacation. What today? They're going to spend all day streaming college football on TV.
Entertainment, they got the biggest rivals and bowl games. Speaking of, Frank, run a Saxton Bowls chip. Body, let it to the sauce. What do you know? Fine, no question, coach.
Megan Ray shares some good follow on Draft Tuesday. Bringing all the action around the league.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, sorry about that. I am back.
New customers, download the app, enter the promo code, and bet $5 to score 200 in bonus bets instantly. The crown is yours.
All right, so let's go through some of these scoring updates. Again, for those that are just joining in, the Sun have a 46-38 lead over the Fever. I got DeWanna Bonner as the MVP in this game right now. 4-7, 16 points, 3 assists. Garden Clark. Clark's 0 for 7. Dantas 10 points in 11 minutes off the bench. Clark has just 3 points on 1 of 9 in totality. Ends the half on 11-2 run to the Sun. It's 46-38. Give you a couple other looks at the box here. So you got 12 for Alyssa Thomas on 6 of 10, 7 rebounds, 4 assists. Bonner had 16 on 3 assists, 2 rebounds, 7 points off the bench from Raina Mabry. Kelsey Mitchell leads the Fever with 11 on 5-11 shooting, but Dantas again off the bench, just 11 minutes, 3 of 5, 10 points. Might have to play a little bit more because the Fever need a spark, and they're going to have to figure out a way to get some more points. Right now, the Royals are in their last bats. Let me go back up into the MLB scoreboard. I think the Royals are in their last bats. It is, bottom 9. 2-0 Giants. If the Royals lose, it'll be 7 in a row. Right now, the Tigers are heading to the bottom of the 9th against the Orioles with the lead. If they could take 2 out of 3, that would be a dream scenario because it'd be 2 out of 3 against the Orioles twice, 4 out of 6. Again, they got a long way to go. They still got to get 3 outs. But 4 out of 6 against the Orioles with a sweep against the Royals mixed in and their difficult schedule. And essentially, you're telling me that they could go, let's do the rough math here, 7 out of 9? You're absolutely going to take that. There is no world that you won't take that. The Mariners still holding on to a 5-4 lead over the Rangers. The Rangers we talked about, they've been eliminated. The Mariners, Ryan Wu still on the mound, 5 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. Texas put a 4 spot against Wu. Really, Seattle's got nowhere to go but up at this point in the year. Everybody has, 6 games left essentially. And that starting staff is excellent for Seattle. Again, we've talked about them many times. They've been number 1 in the league as far as starting staff. Their bullpen, something to be desired. Their average, their hitting, something to be desired. But man, oh man, that starting staff can get the job done. As you look at the regular standings, it's 5 out of the AL West, so that's not going to happen. However, Seattle only a game out of the wild card portion. Again, if the Tigers lost and the Mariners won, it would be 81-75 with the Tigers having the tiebreaker there. Minnesota loses again in the doubleheader. Everybody would be 81-75, and the Mariners' door is open. They've won 3 in a row, so they're not done just yet. And the Royals, who've had that gigantic lead over everyone else, not as much as Baltimore, but they could potentially lose 7 in a row. And that might change some things. We're waiting for all of those games to go final. Once they do, I'll let you know. So let's get in the play-by-play of the second half. Right now, the Sun have a 46-38 lead over the Indiana Fever, and it's pretty much been the Dwana Bonner show because she's absolutely locked down Caitlin Clark, and been a big piece of why this team has the lead. This is a floater, missed off the front of the rim, and Caitlin Clark able to get the rebound there alongside Lexie Hull. Here's Clark, sidestep shot. This one missed. She cannot get anything going right now. I've seen her visibly shake her head. Loose ball picked up now by Aliyah Boston. That'll be an opportunity for Indiana to get a second possession out of this. As Clark gets a screen, the right side wing. Boston was wide open. Works away to the mid-range. Does not shoot. Lexie Hull near the right wing. She's going to let a three go. It's too strong off the front of the rim. And now the Sun have an opportunity to go ahead and try to add to this. They want to take a 10-point lead. 42% shooting for Connecticut, 39 for Indiana, 3 of 17 for Indiana shooting threes. That is why they are where they are right now. I think that pretty much says it all. Aubrey trying to work her way baseline. Back out now, spin and turnaround, and knocks it down. An exceedingly difficult shot. Gives the Sun their biggest lead, 48-38. Good touch pass from Clark. That's exactly what she can do. That was one-hand touch guided like a missile right to Aliyah Boston. Lays it right in, 48-40, so the passing is still right there. We're going to get the offense going, though, does Indiana. Aliyah Boston, 8 points on 4-7, 5 rebounds, 2 blocks. Thomas. Aubrey, long-range three. This one missed up the front of the rim. Kelsey Mitchell has the rebound. Mitchell slowly across the timeline near the right wing. This will be picked up near the elbow. Given back to Mitchell, and then going to be a foul. This one's going to go against Indiana. A little push-off. Took off one of the Connecticut Sun, and that's going to be an easy turnover there. I think DeAndre Carrington got hit right in the face, right off the screen. Aubrey, bring this one up off the bounce to Brianna Jones. And now off-ball foul. This one's going to be called against the Fever. I'll stay right here. NaLyssa Thomas, 12 points, 6-11, 8 rebounds, 4 assists. An opportunity to get some play-by-play on my own. Again, I was happy to get Ian Genji to kind of ease me into this a little bit. I think he was doing that yeoman's work. He was jumping in. Everybody was excited or shocked that I was even doing the WNBA play-by-play. Lazy pass from Thomas, and this one picked off by the Fever. Caitlin, full court, right wing pass, 3. They need it badly, and Indiana knocks it down. Kelsey Mitchell from Caitlin Clark on a long-distance feed. That was right in stride. 14 points, 2 of 7 for Mitchell shooting threes. Carrington, one-handed reverse layup, makes it in. So now the girls are really starting to play here, getting the offense going. Step back between the legs. Clark missed it up in front of the rim. I think she's starting to look in her rhythm at least on that shot, but didn't hit it. Thomas, pass. Carrington puts it on the deck between the legs of Lexie, gets right to the rack and gets the layup. 52-43, and now Christie Sides calls timeout because Connecticut, they're feeling themselves right now. We're starting to get some open-ended basketball. It's been a little while since we've even had that at all. There's been so many stoppages and everything else. Some look like they're rolling right now, and Bonner just hits that one right off the glass. We go to break, 52-43.
Already, and not a satellite dish in sight.
I hardly recognize the rules of the world. In that spot, everyone else is playing non-stop football on the right TV. Tell me, whose house is this? Their house, I think you're right. Listen. I know they get easy access to all this football, but you know what you got? A coach, a grown-up attitude. Stream football without a satellite dish. Now don't think you need to.
Megan Reyes here from a good follow-up on DraftKings Network, bringing you all the action from around the league. Women's basketball is on fire, and DraftKings Sportsbook is the place for the honest epic season. New customers, download the app, enter the promo code, and bet $5 to score $200 in bonus bets instantly. The crown is yours.
So 52-43. Let's go 7:07 in the third.
did it twice.
They built you a statue.
But you're fine with this tiny car that you can just sell at the car.
You're right. It's not fun.
Get the legs. Never settle on the bottom or on the floor. CarMax.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink. Designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it a unique?
You can't have the heat box.
Dad, you're getting cooked out there.
Yes, Coach.
Sorry to say, you're being traded to Montana.
What are your father?
That's why this is so hard.
What team is in Montana?
Doctor, welcome aboard the Odyssey. We've constructed a paradise here. So it's your job to keep everyone alive. Right? Full steam ahead.
ABC's coverage of the 2024 WNBA playoffs, presented by Google, is brought to you by DirecTV. All your entertainment, nothing on your roof. Stream DirecTV.
So as we check back into this game, looks like my football picks are absolute trash again. My apologies here. I can't seem to get that one down. Although we did get a couple wins, there's a lot of losses. I think the Tigers did finish off their game. We'll give you that update in a moment. Caitlin Clark bounced past to Mitchell. Mitchell try to work her way between the legs. Caitlin Clark wide open off the curl. She knocks down the three. That's her first one of the game. 52-46. Caitlin Clark now 1 of 9 shooting the 3-point ball. 6 points on 2 of 12. Here's Carrington. We'll get this one alongside of Thomas. Thomas. Now Mabry will shoot the three. She has been excellent off the bench. The picker from the Chicago Sky. Knocks someone down from the right wing. 55-46. 12 points, 4 of 11, 1 of 6 from 3. That's her first Clark double. Now Boston. Mitchell right elbow. Trying to work on Mabry. Still working between the legs. Rock the dribble. Extra pass out to Lexie Hull. Hull now Boston. Boston put the ball on the deck. Loses the basketball. Mabry finds it. Numbers back in transition, but Mabry going to pull it up. She's going to knock it down. Back-to-back three-pointers. 58-46. 15 points, 5 of 12, 2 of 7 from 3. 5:55 now in the third. Biggest lead of the game now for the Sun. Mitchell between her legs, try to up and under. She's got to pass it back out now. Mitchell, right wing. Opportunity now off the spin. Good defense there from Brianna Jones. Denies the fever. Boston gets hit to the deck. Excellent work now for Connecticut. They're really putting lock and key defense against Indiana. I know Caitlin Clark's probably missed some threes that she should make. And Indiana maybe played tentatively in their first playoff game in the first 8 years. I think that's fair to say. Right now in this second half, they're getting locked and keyed on defense here within this first 4.5 minutes or so. Caitlin Clark. Screen from Boston. Right to the lane. She's going to get an easy one. 5 easy points now for Caitlin Clark as her team is down 10. Still 5:25 left to go in the third, but it's good to see Caitlin get a couple baskets here. She doesn't have any turnovers. She's shooting 3 of 13, 8.6 assists. This one inside. Brianna Jones, too tall, gets that one inside over Boston. Clark, full court pass essentially to Lexie Hull. Hull now back to Caitlin. Caitlin off the curl. This one bounced inside a couple times. Good passing from Indiana. Now Aliyah Boston be able to get it easy too. 60-50. This game is starting to move up and down. I'm happy for that. 4:50 left to go in this third. Thomas slowly put this one near the right side dot. Here's Mabry off the half screen. She misses it. She got a wide open look though. Mitchell racing down the floor, turning on the burners, goes between her legs. Now probes baseline. Now Aliyah Boston, Caitlin Clark. They'll work the screen again, showing a double. Caitlin's pass. It's the first turnover of the game for Caitlin Clark. Inside Thomas, extra feed. Carrington lays it in. 62-50 now. 4:15 left to go in the third. Clark's pass. Here's a 3. This one missed. Bonner settled this one back down up for Thomas. Thomas doing an excellent job just slowing it down. Connecticut has the lead. Again, this is a veteran-laden group against a very young Fever squad. I feel like they should have the advantage here. That's what I thought would be going into this. Thomas. Mabry 3. Yes! Her third 3 of the quarter. 65-50. Maybe I should change my MVP of the game right now. 18 points on 6 of 14. They weren't kidding when they said the Sky lost their best player. Mitchell, Boston for 3. Too strong off the front of the rim. Bonner with another rebound. It's going to be between Bonner and Mabry right now as far as MVP for this game because they've had control of it. Top of the key. Connecticut's been running their offense smoothly. This is inside Harrington. Fade. Short off the front of the rim. Wasn't a bad idea. That's really all she had. Didn't want to get 3 seconds. 3:05 to go in the third. Clark. Try to get to the right side. Step back. Knocks it down from mid. That is nasty between the legs near the right wing side. And Caitlin Clark has made her last 3 baskets in a row. Her team's still down 12, however. 65-53. Bonner near the right elbow. Extra pass Jones. Open from 12, but she missed it. Mitchell now. Get the rebound to Clark. Clark in control. She thought about that 3. This one deflected. This will stay with the Fever. Again, Caitlin just 1 TO right now. Mabry got too much space there from Caitlin. She knocked down her third 3 of the quarter. And then Caitlin said, you know what, I'm just going to step back on you, knock this down from the right wing and show you what I can do. 65-53. Fever with the basketball. Connecticut with the lead. Clark will back this now away from Carrington, who's on her. 10 seconds. Screen from Boston. Doubled. I don't know if this got knocked off Caitlin's foot. I think this is going to stay with the Fever. Carrington trying to play her case. Again, excellent work. You got to show and go on that defense. And again, it really kind of shows you the respect, even though Caitlin's not having the greatest shooting game, of those doubles that they throw over immediately. They do not want her to let the Indiana offense start to percolate. So she can get that going. She did get hit near the left side of her eye. We talked about that first, alongside Carrington off the screen. I think somebody lost a contact lens. That's Carrington. So we'll step aside for a second. 2:27 left in the third. Let's check back into the play-by-play. Wheeler's in, and now Mitchell beat the shot clock but missed it all. 2:15 up to go in the third. Here's a lob pass inside. Carrington trying to catch and finish all in one motion. She got hit. I think she's going to go to the line and shoot 2. So DeJounte Carrington, she got pushed by Caitlin Clark on the inside, tried to pretty much loft that one inside and finish in one motion before I choked all over myself as she misses 1. A little bit of a push here against the Fever. And they're going to make sure that they clean up everything else inside the Mohegan Sun Arena. John Hunter went down the call. It's my first look at the WNBA playoffs. I haven't covered a WNBA game, but honestly, it hasn't been so bad. Here and there was a very tough start. I wouldn't say for the ladies, but for the clock operators and everyone else alongside of it. Very slow. There wasn't a way to kind of get into the offense. But again, it's 8 years for Indiana. This one bounced off the Fever. Carrington now is going to get a wide open layup out of this. So her contact got knocked off. She gets a 2. She gets a free throw, another 2. 68-53. Caitlin Clark off the double. Now there's a switch. Butter. There's a long range three for Caitlin. Man, oh man, that was almost near the logo. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. She misses this one. And now Mabry, off-arm shove, gets to the lane. Can't knock it down. Fever. Here is good opportunity for Wheeler. Knocks it down for 2. 68-55. She did that on the run from 15 feet near the right wing. 1:20 left to go in the third. Bonner. That's Thomas, excuse me, misses it. Now Mitchell. Now Wheeler from Mitchell. Misses the 3 from the right wing. Try to get back-to-back baskets. And now Connecticut probably should look to slow this down. 68-55. You don't want to get Indiana some easy baskets with less time coming off the clock. Couple of opportunities to get knocked away. Mitchell tried to find it. Now the Sun. Make this pass across off the loft. Here's a spin. He gets fouled by the Fever. Does want to butter. 47.5 left to go in the third. And we can reset the shot clock at 14. I will give you some updates here as we get close to the end of this third. There's some pertinent baseball updates, and if you blink your eyes, you might wonder who was in that wild card spot. We will let you know because I think we've had some critical finals, although the Twins have one more game left to play today. This one knocked in the backcourt. Connecticut Sun have to pick it up. Mabry off the dribble. She's going to let this one go. She airballs it. She had really no chance anything else. Shot clock was winding down. She was all alone, about 25 feet, but didn't really have a chance to save her feet and shoot that one. 68-55. So Clark for Mitchell. Clark's going to let the basketball roll, try to conserve as much time as she can. Take this one across the logo for Connecticut at Lexie Sun Arena. It's best of 3 here in the first round. And now Boston. Aliyah Boston with an and one. Indiana needed that so badly. Gets an opportunity just inside. Let's put that one in. Now try to make this a 68-58 game. I can't say that this game is over by a long stretch yet because you still got another quarter, but you need to find some consistent scoring, and maybe Aliyah Boston can do that inside the paint. She's looking for point number 15 on 7-11 and 8 rebounds, so really hasn't been containable. It's been Caitlin Clark on the outside shooting that really hasn't come to pass just yet, although I will give her a break. First playoff game, Aliyah Boston in her second year. Lexie Hull, same deal. Boston misses it, gets it back, misses it again, and this one will go back, I believe, to the Fever. So Boston missed the free throw. She got it right back from 12 feet, tried to put it up, missed it up in front of the rim too short. And I think this is going to stay with Indiana. So they got an opportunity here to actually get a 5-point play out of this if they can hit a 3. They said I might have went off of Thomas, but that was not reviewed for whatever reason. So either way now, it's Connecticut's basketball. Here's an opportunity missed, an easy layup. Indiana has an opportunity for Mitchell, 3, and this is an air ball. 8.4 left to go in the third. That is going to end it. The Sun still up 68-57. They're looking good right now with an 11-point lead as we get set to go to the fourth quarter. So let's take a look We'll take a commercial break before we get into the fourth. I want to give some pertinent scoring updates. And we're going to go ahead and refresh the MLB standings and look at the AL Central just for a moment. Just appease me here, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm looking at the Detroit Tigers and trying to make that wild card run. So the Royals have lost. 2-0 Giants take the victory. Royals are falling apart down the stretch right now. Again, Ian Genji joined me here in this part of the opener from the first quarter especially. That's 7 in a row now for Kansas City. So here's the deal. Kansas City and Detroit end their day 82-74. Kansas City and Minnesota have the tiebreaker over Detroit. So no matter what it's all said and done by next week Sunday, again a week from today, we're going to know who's in the playoffs. Both those teams, the Royals and the Twins, have the tiebreaker over the Tigers. So Tigers will need to be one ahead of them. But the Tigers now have the same record the Royals do. Tigers coming off a sweep of the Royals. Heading into this series against the Baltimore Orioles, they've taken 2 of 3 both times, and they swept the Royals. So you had Orioles, Royals, Orioles in a 9-game stretch, and the Tigers were able to win 7 of 9. I was hoping that they would just avoid the sweep, not only take the series twice against the O's. Absolutely ridiculous. So they're 82-74. The best the Twins can do today is be 82-74. So there'll be a 3-way tie in the AL Central and a 3-way tie, most importantly, in the wild card at 82-74 if the Twins split their doubleheader. Again, Tigers are 1 game back on both, but essentially they put themselves in the driver's seat. I'll say that. I shouldn't say this, but I'll say it. Put themselves in the driver's seat for Tampa and the Chicago White Sox beginning on Tuesday. They'll get the off day as they travel to Comerica Park, and it's a 6-game stretch to see whether or not Detroit can get in the postseason. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like that might happen. It really, really does. They have a good shot at this. So Texas, Toronto, Oakland, the LA Angels, and the White Sox have all been eliminated. Everybody else technically alive. The Red Sox and Rays are on life support. The Mariners have a really good shot at this. But let me finally give you the scoring updates if I gave you the spiel. So Royals lost 2-0. The Twins got bombarded by the Red Sox in their first game, 8-1. Twins lose again. Tigers are in a playoff spot today. Twins and Red Sox start at 5:35. The Mariners are tied 5-5 with the Rangers at Globe Life Field in the 8th. And the Tigers win today against the O's. I'll have to call my grandma back in a moment once this game is done. They win 4-3 over the O's. So Caitlin Clark, let's get into this play-by-play now. Clark, pass from Mitchell. This is a great feed. That's normally one she can knock down. That's what you want to see, though. Again, she hasn't shot well, but those are the ones in rhythm that you want to see. And again, on Wednesday, we got plenty of days off before game 2. I think Caitlin Clark's going to be able to find something here. I'm just going to say it. So Brianna Jones, off the spin. Here's a crazy pass, and now a cut inside the lane. That's a blown assignment. Didn't get an opportunity to pick that one up, didn't favor, and you got to get that near the right side for NaLyssa Smith. This is now a pickup off the bench for Fagbenle. She's coming off the bench at the center side, and a travel against the favor. Fagbenle couldn't get rid of the ball off the double, and Connecticut has a 70-57 lead. 9:10 left to go in the 4th. This is picked up by the Connecticut Sun. Sideline out of bounds, 46-42 field goal shooting percentage. Doesn't seem like a lot difference, but it's 70-57 score. Burton sets up Thomas off the floater. That's been her shot today, but she missed it. Clark, full sail pass. What a block for Carrington. Never gave up on the play, pounds her chest, and for good reason, because that was tremendous. That was as good as an NBA play, and there is no kidding on that end. Bounces it, I believe, off of the fever as well. but I do think this will stay with Connecticut. I don't know what's going on with the challenges here, why you can or why you can't do that. As this is Belle will get this one to Lexie. Lexie off the jump stop to Caitlin. Caitlin doubled again immediately. This is off the 2-on-1 back foot, and this is picked back up now here for the Sun. 8:35 left to go in the fourth. Carrington probing. Lexie Hull rips it away. She does do a little bit of everything as Lexie now. Leave for Caitlin off the half screen. Caitlin trying to go baseline, doubled again. Lexie's there. Floater, this one blocked. Good defense from the Sun as they get an opportunity to knock this one away. Jake Carrington try to get this one now from Melissa Thomas. Thomas. Here's Bonner. Bonner and Carrington. Good setup there for the Sun, and I think they're in striking distance to put it away. 7:50 left to go. Indiana try to go quickly. They turn it over from their own end. Here's the Sun now. They could just kill some time. Pretty much should sit on the ball here and run your offense. There really isn't any reason for Stephanie White to get crazy. 3-ball from way far away. And for whatever reason, Connecticut going to shoot this one early. Give Indiana the basketball. Don't really agree with that decision. So DeWanna Bonner made the last basket. And then Dantas tried to go ahead and make a pass. This one picked off. Bonner had another opportunity, and she airballed at 3. 7:30 left to go in the fourth. Clark bounce pass to Kelsey Mitchell. Up and under. And she's going to get a 3-point opportunity as she finishes that one probing baseline. 72-60. She's going to try to make the score. Marina Mabry is going to come in for DeJohnne Carrington. Carrington's been really good as well. So people that have stood out in this game, DeJohnne Carrington, Marina Mabry, DeWanna Bonner, obviously, because she's locked up Caitlin Clark. But Connecticut Sun is a pretty good basketball team. Again, I didn't get a chance to go on my opening notes. Might as well do that here. So, for the Fever, the last minute playoffs in 2016 are between CC, Aliyah Boston, Hull, NaLyssa Smith. This is a young and dangerous team that can grow together. Hear a lot about Christie Sides, but Kelsey Mitchell, 19 points per game as a veteran at 28. It's a consistent score that can be leaned upon. Mabry hits the 3 near the right wing. Let's get into this for the Connecticut Sun, though. They opened the season 9-0. They went 13-1, 3-1 in the season series against Indiana. 37-year-old veteran DeWanna Bonner. She doesn't look it. 15-6-2, and a 32-year-old Melissa Thomas, 10-8-8. That it will still lead the group and cause them to not make as many mistakes. That's what I threw in my opener. I think that's been absolutely right. Bonner. Getting Mabry over here has been absolutely ridiculous from the Chicago Sky. Mabry's wide open, right wing side. Did it again. It's her 5th 3 of the second half, 78-60, and she might put this game away all by her lonesome. 24 points. Clark step back right wing. Too strong off the front of the rim. And now the Sun can really slow this down. 18-point lead. Here's a pump fake. Lexie Hull jumps. Lexie Hull is a spark plug. I can tell you that for sure. Bounce pass. Good look. Thomas, extra feed. Mabry. She's been hot. She'll let it go. She hits it. Gets it and one. My goodness. Mabry has been on fire, and the Sun are really pulling away now. I know she's not going to say this, but Caitlin Clark, who? My goodness, Marina Mabry. They said this guy lost their best player. Pick her up from the Olympic break, and man, oh man, has she been ridiculous in this second half. And I say this with the utmost meaning and respect. I mean, this is about as good as any NBA performance as you can see in a quarter, let alone in a half. Mitchell against Mabry. Definitely going to be feeling herself right now. Mitchell gets a screen from Boston. Where's the offense going to come from? Mitchell, short up the front of the rim. There's Lexie again. Tries to take this one away. It's nonstop motor for Lexie, and I like that. From that all-out effort there, she's going to be in the WNBA for a long time, as long as she wants to be. Nobody can stop Marina Mabry right now. She gets any open looks. I don't care if it's NaLyssa Smith or you want to throw in there alongside Kelsey Mitchell. somebody's got to switch because she's just dominating right now. Whether she gets the ball in the contact or from three, it's her show right now. And that's why the Sun are up 81-60. So let's give you the update. Mabry 27 off the bench. I think they probably should keep her right where she is. 27 points, 9 of 19. 27 points, 5 for 11 from distance. It's been an instant offense and a plus 19 off the bench. NaLyssa Thomas with 12 and a plus 20. She's got 12 and 10 rebounds and 12 assists. I know they talk about triple doubles. They're not talking about it right now. Thomas has one. 12 points, 10 rebounds, 12 assists for the Sun. She's done a little bit of everything. I said Bonner was kind of my MVP. I might have to change that. She was in the first half. She's got 20 on 6 of 10. She's been excellent. 6 rebounds, 5 assists. But Thomas with the trip dub, 27 points for Mabry off the bench. And again, we looked at this going in. I mentioned this is NaLyssa Thomas is 32. You got Bonner, who was 37 in her 14th season out of the Auburn Tigers. And this is me without any experience going in and just telling you, look, there's a lot of experience for the Sun in playoff games. They've been here before, the way they started in the regular season. They kind of feel like they should have the advantage in this series to not let that slip away from them. The Indiana Fever were not expected to make the playoffs. Caitlin Clark, Aliyah Boston, Lexie Hull and company able to push that ahead to make the playoffs sooner than expected. But if they end up losing the 2 games, let's say they lose on Wednesday, I don't think anything changes for the Fever as far as their expectations. You know they're going to continue to grow. I think the Sun probably should win this series considering this first game that I'm watching. That's just me, though. You let me know what you think. So Sun up big, and we're going to have a chance to close this one out. We took the long break. We have the Phoenix Mercury and the Minnesota Lynx at 5. We got the late game between the Storm and the Aces at 10. 5:35 left to go in this fourth. John here with you at the Mohegan Sun Arena. This is a WNBA debut for me. This is a playoff opener between the Indiana Fever and the Connecticut Sun. 81-60 Sun all over it right now. This is Carrington, Kelsey Mitchell off the double. Kind of wondering if you're Christie Sides, you might want to pull some of your starters and just get some rest because this game's donezo. That's what it certainly seems like. I'm thinking the playoff game might not do that as much, but getting close to that 5-minute mark in a 21-point game. NaLyssa Smith trying to make something happen. I haven't really called her name all game. As this a lazy pass picked off by the Sun. Burton. Get this pass back near the right side wing. Burton now goes between her legs. Veronica's still trying to rock the dribble. Works around for Jana Carrington inside. A little bit of a tie-up. I think this one will be called against the Fever Aliyah Boston. I'm not exactly sure what she did. So NaLyssa Thomas, 4th career playoff triple-double. Rest of the NBA has 2. That is ridiculous. So again, she's one of the ones where you talk about Caitlin Clark and this and that. Probably talk about NaLyssa Thomas. 6 of 15, 10 rebounds, 12 assists, 12 points. She's done everything in this game. Mabry, pass, picked off. Caitlin, going to need some help, maybe, maybe not. Probe inside, bounce pass. And one opportunity for Boston. So Clark gets the steal, and then she just pockets that inside bounce pass to Boston with a finish. I can understand, I'll say this openly too, why some of her teammates at the beginning of the year where Clark was getting some turnovers. They're just not expecting to get the ball in tight windows and being able to finish, but those are the plays that Caitlin can make. Second favorite player with a double-double on a playoff debut, as it happens to Tamika Catchings in 2002. That's a name blast from the past. Boston knocks it down, 81-63. 4:25 left to go in the fourth. 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, 8 of 14 is Boston. She's had a nice game. Carrington, screen from Thomas. Carrington inside the lane, too short. This rolls off the left side of the rim. Now Mitchell off the jump stop. Gets doubled from Mabry. Here is Hull. Lexie was wide open. She had a good look. She couldn't make a count though. 3:55 left to go in the fourth. Johnny with down the call. This is a debut for me in the WNBA. I've had some fun with it though. Regardless of the scoreline, it really started to open up. We'll take a timeout. We'll see if Christie Sides wants to just make some extra subs here or what they want to call. Again, Indiana had the game get away from them late. We'll see what happens on Wednesday when they do it again. Right now, the M's and the Rangers tied at 5. 5 runs, 8 hits, 2 errors for the Rangers, no errors for the Mariners. Same types of runs and hits. Mariners still have a chance here in the wild card, but they got to get this W over Texas on the road at Globe Life. That's at 5-5. The Brewers were way out of this game against the Diamondbacks, but they decided to make a run at it. It was 8-1. It's now 8-6 in the bottom 7th. Angels and Astros. Astros wouldn't want to drop this game, but I think they got the AL West pretty much locked up here, unless they would lose every single game and the Mariners made a run and win every single game. 9-6 Halos over the Astros. Yankees up 3-2 on the A's. They'll have the AL East locked up essentially because Tigers took care of the O's, won 4 of 6 in the last 9 and then swept the Royals. Twins and Red Sox doubleheader starts at 5:35. It's the Sunday night baseball game, Phillies-Mets. That's at 7. Everything else is final. Cardinals beat the Guardians 2-1. They got the Central. They don't have to worry about anything more. Giants beat the Royals 2-0. Rays up in the Blue Jays 4-3. Very slim playoff hopes for the Rays. They need a lot of help. They're essentially done. Braves, they get the win they needed badly, 5-4. Let's take a look at the NL wild card. Didn't get a chance to do that yet today. The Mets holding on to the last spot, a game and a half ahead of the Braves. 85-71 are the Braves, 86-69 the Mets. They're underway again today against the Phillies. Diamondbacks, they're still going on right now. Padres not playing today. Man, the Seahawks are killing the Dolphins right now, 17-3. I apologize to Mr. Cooper Hopkins. Man, oh man. Ravens all over the boys. I took the Ravens and I took the 49ers. At least I can feel better about that. Lions with the football at 7-7, 134 in the first. Honestly, I hate to tell it to you because I love Detroit as much as anybody else. Die hard for the Red Wings, Tigers. I like the Pistons. Football is a little bit on my back burner, but I don't care about the Lions right now until the Tigers season's done. I just have to say it. Most points off the bench in WNBA playoff history. I guess we're making some history one way or the other is Marina Mabry. She got 27. So 20 points in the second half. And who knows, she might start on Wednesday considering the injury. We'll talk about that more in the story. Here is Burton for 3. Monica Burton knocks it down, 84-63. All we're waiting for is this game to end. Essentially, we'll get into the game story, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'll call it again on Wednesday. Who knows? Depending on if I'm free. But I did enjoy this one nonetheless, regardless of the score. Here is NaLyssa. She'll turn around and hit the 2. 84-65. That was from 10 feet on the mid-range of the left elbow. 3:10 left to go in the fourth. Opportunity now for Mabry. This is Mabry now. Off the screen. Inside pass. Thomas gets bumped. That'll be a foul against the Fever. That's an easy call. 3 minutes left to go in the fourth. Jordan with you. Again, WNBA debut as far as the playoffs. And now Thomas bumped knee to knee. I think she's going to be all right, though. She'll be able to walk off underneath her own power. She's just bumped a little bit off the knee to knee. There's been a couple of contact there. Let me just pull up this box so I can give everybody updated. So as far as minutes played, it was Tyasha Harris who got herself in a walking boot on the left side, and now Thomas takes a knee to knee. She's still walking this one off, so she's fine. But it was, again, Tyasha Harris in a walking boot. She only played 4 minutes, and she took a knee to knee, and she got all sorts of messed up. We'll see what happens. She won't be done for the rest of this, though. Again, they won't play till Wednesday, but a walking boot's not a good sign. 86-65. Caitlin Clark, now Boston. Bonner with her 22nd point of the game, she got a 2 on an inside layup. Mitchell. Starters are really still out there right now, as Caitlin Clark will catch this one-handed near the right wing. Try to shug off a double team. Somehow still stays in bounds. Now Caitlin gets it knocked away. She's going to have to heave. I don't think she knows the shot clock. Doesn't get it off in time. 86-65. 2:20 left to go in the fourth. They absolutely were able to lock and key Caitlin Clark. She had a couple looks, probably 3 I could say that were open. But other than that, I think she's been locked down pretty well by Bonner. All things considered, the Connecticut Sun played a much better game. They're the better team from everything I can see as well. But it doesn't take away anything that Indiana had done all year. They still got another game Wednesday. If you try to turn this around completely. Do I expect Caitlin Clark to play a little better? Yeah, probably I do. But it's going to be a tough task, especially if Aubrey plays as well as she did and Bonner continues to lock down. Boston. Now for Mitchell. Mitchell floater. That one's good. 86-67. It's a 19-point lead for Connecticut. They were up by as many as 22. Caitlin Clark, 11 points on 4 of 17. She only had 3 points at the end of the first half. Carrington lets it go, knocks it down. She has been another X factor as this leads back to 22. That's the same number as Burton. 138 left to go in the fourth. I don't see any reason for a timeout for Christie Sides unless she's just taking everybody out now and waving that white flag. All sun in this first game. Again, Wednesday, we'll see if it shows anything different, but this was a beating toward the second half. So 135, we're just wrapping this up as Indiana's going to empty their bench. Katie Lou Samuelson have the basketball now. Got about 90 seconds left to go. Up and under. This one's missed. Again, we're going to pretty much go bench the rest of the way so we can wrap this one up here and put a bow on it. But essentially, from what I can tell you, is it was all Sun in this fourth. Again, Indiana tried to hang around as much as they could. They could not sustain a 25-10 run in the fourth, 91-67. It's the biggest lead of the game right now for the Sun, as Olivia Nelson-Ododa makes a 13-foot pull-up. 6 of 28 was Indiana shooting threes, and Caitlin Clark was wrapped up a little bit by Dewana Bonner. Off the step back, try to get this one inside to Ododa. She's got a lot of size, about 6 foot, I believe 6, as this one's knocked down from mid-range, about 15 feet, 93-67. Indiana just trying to run this clock down because they got punched right in the mouth in this fourth quarter. Again, this is a very young team. There will be many more playoff games ahead. Lexie Hull will get this one across. Here's a layup, and this one's kissed in by. We'll have to scroll all the way down because this one ended on the ESPN side. This was way ahead, as this one was knocked in by Saxton. And now Connecticut will be able to just dribble out the basketball. So Saxton gets the layup, but it's going to end 93-69. The Sun run roughshod on the Fever. Again, it's Wednesday when these two teams meet up again. Indiana would have to win one to be able to go back home to the Gamebridge Fieldhouse where Tyrese Halliburton might be in attendance. Other than that, Indiana's season might end on Wednesday. Again, they got punched up pretty good. It's not to say things can't be different, but even with the injury that we saw from Tyasha Harris, who played just 3 minutes in this game and came up in a walking boot on crutches, it was really the show of Marina Mabry. She was the star, especially in the second half. She had over a 23-point performance in the second half. As let me look back on this box for Mabry, 27 on 9 of 20, 5 of 12 from 3. She was excellent. I'm going to close out this recording here. I'll give you the full coverage of Hopeless Sports Guy per usual. I might see you Wednesday for this game too. Who knows? We'll see what's in the cards. But I probably will jump back in with some postseason baseball as well as we get down the stretch. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We had a lot of live look-ins, a lot of stuff going on today. And we'll talk very soon. Peace, everybody. Again, Sun win big, 93-69. They lead 1-0 in the series.